what did you think? We were just gonna walk onto the base and say, hey, where's DG? And they'd let us in?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Sister Marble told me to say. She thought it would work.
Sister Marble's a baby!
Hey, whoa. I'm not exactly a baby. I don't know exactly. I mean, maybe we should define how old I am.
If she was a baby, that would make me a pedophile.
Yeah, well, that's why we've been so uncomfortable about your relationship, Brandon. That's why we brought up the whole thing to begin with.
What? How did this become about my relationship with Sister Marble when you're the one who fucked up?
Oh, fuck. I didn't fuck up.
I agree with Brandon for once.
What? I mean, I sat down, I had a long conversation with Sister Marble, we had a long policy discussion, and she's the one that said maybe honesty is the best policy. You know, you lie, you get yourself in over your head, and you have to keep lying and lying and lying to get yourself out of it.
Well, Clark, our life is not the Todd Margaret's.
Yeah, I mean, that if it was, I mean, we'd probably already be dead.
That wasn't exactly my point, but listen, why are you having policy discussions with Sister Marble and not me?
You had already taken your sleeping pill and were asleep.
So we can only discuss policy at night?
And that's just what happened. I mean, we were on the road all day, you know, we were having to stay covert, and, you know, it took us forever to figure out where the army was even stationed. I mean, we just had a lot on our mind, Beverly. I didn't think about it until night. You were asleep. Marble was there.
Why are you so jealous? It's not like he fucked me.
First of all, I'm not jealous of a fucking marble. My clit's bigger than you, Sister Marble.
Yeah, it definitely, it's a lot bigger than Sister Marble.
Right, so, is Tristan with us?
No, he's not.
Where'd Tristan go?
Oh, he's still over there with that goddamn Big Red training their sex gremlins.
Lost my place in the story a little bit.
Oh, it's alright, we didn't cover that.
Okay, well, fuck, I don't know. I wouldn't even begin to know how we'd find DG. I mean, the army's off limits. I mean, fuck, none of us are goats except for Brandon, but they wouldn't let him in if we wanted to infiltrate.
No, I mean, I don't know, fuck.
My daddy was a draft dodger, and I'm gonna be a draft dodger. I ain't doing that.
Burn your draft card, Brandon. I don't want you to get drafted into the army. That's not for you.
I already did.
Oh my god! Do you have any of the ashes?
No?
Well, if you didn't say the ashes, Brandon, then how am I supposed to believe you? It's a very common trend right now to burn up your draft card and then post a picture of the ashes. Did you take a picture of the ashes?
No. Why would you not believe me? Have I ever lied to you?
No, Brandon, it's just one of those things, you know, it's virtue signaling, and sometimes people will signal their virtues, and I just feel like maybe you might be doing that.
I don't have to signal my virtue, Sister Marvel, and I'm not on Instagram anyway.
Well, I mean, you can still take a picture even if you don't post it to Instagram. I mean, come on, you didn't even save the ashes for old time's sake to put in the memory box?
Sister Marble, you were there when he burned his draft card. Was she asleep or something? I'm tired of this conversation.
Oh, is that what the piece of paper was? I thought it was something cooler.
Yes!
Oh, okay, I can understand why you're annoyed, Beverly. Yeah, I was there. That was cool. And then we just kind of put the ashes out in the ashtray, and that was that.
Yeah, it wasn't a big thing. I mean, I knew from the moment I wasn't going to join the army because I was already with you guys.
But somehow they got DG after Bertram locked down the fortress. I mean, maybe Bertram must have, sold him to the army or, forced him into it or something.
Oh, hard to tell, I mean.
DG he's able-bodied, he's strong. I mean, why
he's
not?
very strong, but, he's always been kind of patriotic, I guess.
I mean, he did have a lot to say. Anytime we criticize Goat Island, he's the one that tells, go back to the mainland.
Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of a yes man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's for sure. I mean, I think that's a lot to do with just, his, weed smoking, it kind of makes you more agreeable.
Yeah, he was probably just like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude. I'll join a war.
These drug heads, I don't understand it. I mean, there's all this goat weed that everybody's been doing. I probably believe it. His brain has been turned to mush.
You act like You don't smoke goat weed every night, Clark.
But I'm not the one making decisions. I'm not the one being put into, indentured servitude in the army.
You're the one making policy decisions. For us.
Okay.
There's a joint in your ear.
That's the best place to put it. If I put it in my pocket, it'll get bent, or little pieces will fall out the end.
Oh, my God. Can we go get a hoagie?
Oh, yeah, that sounds kind of good. You think they've got hoagies down here in Goat India?
I don't know. I'm hungry.
What's the Indian version of a hoagie?
I don't know. Fucking pita?
Like a gyro? Well, that's the Greece, I think, right? Greek is gyro?
I don't know. Indian people have pita bread.
We're looking for gyros! That didn't work. Nobody stepped out and said, gyro store, gyro store.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if gyros are a thing here. Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you know where we can find a gyro?
Oh, you are looking for a gyroscopic telescope?
No, like a hoagie.
Oh, submarine sandwich?
Yeah, exactly.
Right down road, Blimpie's Indian Cuisine make best submarine sandwiches.
I didn't even think they'd call it a submarine here. This is awesome. Let's go.
I guess it's like the influence of Goat. I mean, it's probably just because like Goat Island only knows certain things, and then Goat India becomes its own. It's all sorts of crazy.
What did he say it was?
A Blimpie's Indian Cuisine, I think.
Oh, Blimpies.
I haven't been to a Blimpie's in years. This might be the only one left.
I wonder if they still make those killer chili cheese fries.
Oh, I mean, something like that. That you can't take off something so iconic from the menu. That would be like Taco Bell not making potatoes.
Oh, I think that's it.
Whoa. Oh my God, Flippies! I love the green and red logo and the way it looks like a blimp.
Brandon, be a dear and open the door for me.
Here you go.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
After you, Beverly.
Thank you, Brandon. I'll go in too.
And after you, Sister Marble. Better watch out, we'll give you a tap on that honey.
Hi, welcome to Blippies. I'm your sandwich artist. What can I get for you?
Hello. Is that...
He kind of looks from... Do you guys have hoagies?
Oh, we got submarine sandwiches.
What is,
Do I know you?
You sound so familiar, and you kind of look... Your hair is very familiar, and the goatee.
That's DG?
No.
DG?
No, huh?
What are you doing here, DG? I thought you were with the army.
No, I don't know. What are you talking about, dude?
Whoa, DG, look me in the eyes. And, we were on the island of Survivor together, and I think that's a connection that can't be broken. So I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me that you lost immunity on day 13, because I know you did.
I don't. First of all, I didn't. But
Ha! You did. We got you, DG. What are you doing?
you're not here with Bertram, are you?
No, I mean, DG, God, no. God, he banished me. I would never be here with someone like that.
Oh, dude. Oh, Brother Clark, glad to know you're okay.
Yes, but DG, I mean, I thank God you're okay. I mean, I've been on, you would not believe the adventures I've been having since we've been disconnected.
Yeah, well, good. All your adventures. I'm feeling sick and I need a hoagie.
Oh, Beverly's feeling nauseous from all of the goat water travel to get here, to go to India.
Oh, totally understandable. Listen, I'm gonna make her a hoagie. You guys want anything?
You guys have gyros?
No gyros.
I'll
What
have
is,
a... Excuse me, I'm the one who's hungry.
Yeah, go ahead, Beverly. I thought the only one.
I'll have a Philly cheese steak and the chili cheese fries.
She's very worried. Oh, you don't tell me you don't have the chili cheese fries.
I mean, we got something like it. Like, I might be able to, like, whip something up a little bit, but they banned chili on the island.
They banned chili on the island. Why?
All the chili's being diverted to the troops.
Oh. DG, speaking of troops, how are you here?
Dude.
We tried to see you at the base and they turned us away.
At first, I thought it seemed like a sick idea, dude, but, I thought it would be, like, kind of like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. But, like,
Oh,
no.
yeah, right.
Nothing like it, dude. No, they They tried to shave my goatee. I was out on day 1, dude.
You never even made it onto the battlefield?
Fuck no.
They've been killing those sex gremlins left and right. We saw so many bodies on the way here. The war is really waging.
No, I couldn't do it in good faith. Like I said, thought it'd kind of be like Call of Duty. No.
Like zombies on Call of Duty?
I mean, kind of like that, except without the rounds and more like the main multiplayer where you can, you join a match and, like, chill out with your friends on the headset. And you're like, oh, I'm going to kill some noobs. No.
It's just not in your nature.
No. Okay, here. Toasted or untoasted?
Toasted.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like a toasted sub. I mean, DG, what's the specialty here at the Blimpies Goat India?
Blimpies?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just started here like last week.
Well, I mean, what kind of special things are on the menu that are like, is there a curry sub or something like that?
We got submarines, dude. You act like you've never been to a submarine shop.
Well, but I've never been to a submarine shop specifically on an island habited only by goats and specifically ones of Indian descent.
No, nothing's different, dude. This is for expats.
Oh, God. Okay, so it's Americanized. Okay, so just, Philly cheesesteak, whatever she had. I'll take one of those.
Yeah, we want you to feel at home, dude. Come on. Brandon?
Hi, DG.
Oh, yeah, you two haven't gotten to interact much.
What's that little dude doing here?
Oh, God, you would have no idea.
I've been fucking Sister Marvel.
DG, I got laid.
What?
I've evolved. I've grown up one level. I've done one evolution, one from being a little kid to now I'm more like an adult. Young adult.
You've been letting that little marble diddle with Brandon?
We didn't, well, listen, DG, you might not know this, but Brandon is 26.
I did know that. That's why I'm shocked.
Well, Sister Marble has apparently evolved. She just said she's like second generation now.
She's like a Pokemon?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, as long as she consents, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's as far as we've gone. I mean, that's DG, that's more than Bertram can say. He's done awful things on Goat Island. Have you heard about the goat trafficking?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of just like an unspoken thing.
Like, the Clintons and Epstein?
Exactly like the Clintons.
I see.
Not so much like Epstein, but like the Clintons more.
Oh, like, really hush-hush, but also very public.
Oh, I mean, the Clintons were, in charge of Epstein. You knew that, right?
Oh, I mean, of course.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Bertram was kind of like, I don't know, he kind of seems like maybe Bertram was Epstein or something, and like, maybe like some other thing was like the Clintons. We all knew he was a puppet.
Well, I know who the Clintons are. It's Dmitry Ilaskievich. You ever heard the name?
No.
It's this Russian guy. It's this motherfucking Russian guy. He's the one that's been funding Goat Island this whole time.
Pass me the salt.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Russian dude. I didn't know we let Russians on the island.
I didn't either, but apparently they've been working together since the 70s, DG. That's how Bertram's been able to do all this stuff.
No.
I heard him say it with my own 2 ears. Well, I mean, I don't really technically have ears, but I heard it. But it's not really clear how I process things because I'm just a little marble. But you put your disillusionment behind you. I heard it with my own ears.
Well, I mean, like, what's he doing? Like, so he's just funding everything and like...
They're trying to traffic goats, and they are. And not only that, but they're trying to traffic humans, too. They're currently trying to impregnate Shelly Ann, but they didn't
What?
know.
No.
Yes, I know, and she's in a coma, DG.
No, we don't have room for 2 pregnant characters.
Wait, whoa. Who's the other pregnant character?
You don't know, dude?
DG, shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Sister Marble?
No, it's not me, Brother Clark. I'm not pregnant. Shit.
Ain't no way she pregnant unless she's cheating on my ass. I'm sterile.
Right. Brandon don't come.
Sister Marvel, I do too come. It's just clear.
No, I mean, there's a difference between orgasm and ejaculating, Brandon, but we'll go over that later.
I ejaculate. You know that. It's just not white. God, embarrassing me in front of everybody. I come, guys.
This is part of the experimentation. Brandon's fucked up GI tract and his ejaculation and all this nonsense.
Oh yeah. No, dude, I know exactly what's going on with Brandon, dude. He's a distant cousin.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I mean, like, my uncle, it's like kind of like that situation where it's like my uncle's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so, like
brother-in-law, you know, kind of deal. Like, he's like from another family, but like sometimes we'd see each other.
I see. I
Oh,
see.
yeah.
So if I get married to Brandon, then we'll be related too?
I mean, kinda.
DG, I want to be related to DG.
I mean, you're already kind of like my, I don't know, my niece.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, I'll be your niece, but I just want to be. I mean, it's one thing to be like spiritually related, but I want to be literally related. I want some real relatives.
Sister Marvel, I'm starting to think that you want DG to be your daddy. And I'm not comfortable with that.
No, I don't want DG to be my daddy. That's silly.
Why are you giving him them looks then?
I don't want DG. DG and I shared an experience out on Survivor that none of us can. No, you guys haven't gone on Survivor.
True, that's
What
true.
it's like.
I don't even know why I could potentially even hide myself from a fellow Survivor member.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I've seen DG with all kinds of stuff growing on his face and all kinds of sweat and lost all kinds of weight. I've seen DG all fucked up, so I saw right through your stupid little disguise, DG.
Yeah, well. I mean, so, what we doing? Because you guys say the words, I'll quit right now.
Well, I mean, you kind of got the line of people back here that need subs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to go make their sandwiches, so, like, if we're going, I'm going.
Yeah, I think we're going to... Beverly, are you done with your sandwich?
Almost.
Oh, just a few more minutes, DG. I think you should be ready to go in a little bit. But so maybe if you want to go quit...
Yeah,
then,
okay, hold on. Hey.
Yeah?
This
What are you doing? Get back on the line.
kind of awkward, but, here's my apron, and,
Hang on. There's a line of people out there waiting for their blimpies.
yeah, you're probably gonna want to go help them. They're starting to get mad.
Oh my god. I should have known. Hiring one of you.
What the fuck are you talking about? Just say it, dude.
Hiring one of you Goat Islanders. I should have stayed with the Goat Indians.
You're just mad, dude. I got an ATV and you don't, dude. I don't need this fucking job. I don't need fucking you.
She's done, DG. We're ready to go.
All right, see you later, fucking asshole.
Oh!
Try to have me fucking file assault charges. I'll fucking kill you, dude. Let's go.
That guy's a fucking douche.
Trust me, I know. No, he's actually a really nice guy. I kind of feel bad for doing him like that, but I didn't realize he was goatist.
Yeah, apparently he only wants to hire Indians. That's just fine. I mean, that's fine. But
Yeah, the goat Indians are, kind of racist.
I kind of got that vibe when we were working with the Bhagavita. He wasn't too kind of from us being from Goat Island.
Oh, yeah, dude. Especially with humans, dude. They don't like that. They especially don't like when goats talking to humans. But, no, I just thought, yeah, I mean, everybody just stares and points at you guys when you walk by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable, but glad to have you back, DG. We were actually coming to look for you, so this fits everything perfectly. It just fell right into place. It's almost like it was written.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like it's not like it was written, but like it was planned out beforehand, and like all of the things in between just kind of were made up.
Yeah, I got you. I didn't think I'd be too far away from you guys for too long.
We really missed you, DG. I wasn't sure how long away I was going to be. I mean...
Well, thanks, dude. I missed you, too.
Oh, hang on. So if Sister Marble's not the pregnant one, and Shelly Ann's pregnant... And you said there's 2 pregnant people. DG, did you get Samantha pregnant?
No, Samantha, no. She definitely doesn't want anything to do with me and nothing to do with Draft Dodger.
Oh. Have you been in contact with her at all? I mean, we haven't spoken about, we haven't heard from Samantha in so long.
No, dude, I mean, I think it was just like a one-night stand for her.
I could tell it meant a lot more to you, though.
It's just because I'm a lonely dude, but we don't need to talk about me. Let's just, I'm gonna spark up the ATB.
Spark up that joint, DG. Spark up that joint.
That's what I was about to say.
It's been so long since I smoked with you, DG. I've really been missing you.
You wanna start her off, sister?
Of course I do.
Here's someone hold it up for her.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Pass it over, Sister Marvel. What the fuck?
Okay, here you go, Brandon. Take a hit off the joint.
Ooh.
Whoa. Don't pass it to Beverly. Beverly! Beverly!
Oh,
Beverly.
good lord. Oh, I needed that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The fuck are you talking? What do you think I'm doing? I'm smoking.
Beverly! Beverly! You can't smoke!
Yes, I can.
No! You can't smoke while you're pregnant!
You're pregnant, Beverly?
Yeah, well, I mean...
You're the pregnant one?
Well...
I'd never even crossed my mind because you're 94, but you did say you never had your period menopause.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a period. It's just every, couple of years.
Well, and apparently not anymore, because there's...
I did miss it a couple months ago.
Oh my god, and you didn't tell me? Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant?
I just don't think I can have a baby right now. I don't think I can. But Dr. Xavier doesn't give abortions.
Well, I mean, did you ask him for an abortion, Beverly? Because, I mean...
No.
I kind of want to, have a go of it.
You want to be a dad?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean...
You want to be a dad? I didn't want it because I didn't think you would want it.
Beverly, I mean, this is everything we could have... Beverly, I mean...
I'm an old woman, Clark. I don't know if I'll survive it.
What else is there to live for but family and love?
I have one!
Well, I mean, now we could, you could be with me again, and you said your kids back on the mainland, they haven't talked to you in years, Beverly. Years.
Well, the thing is that it just makes me uncomfortable. I'm sort of old-fashioned, and, you like it, but you never put a ring on it.
Oh, so you're, worried about it being a bastard child?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I want a bastard? At least Jay had the decency to marry me before he nutted at me.
Oh, well, I didn't know you. I mean, at that point, we hadn't had the discussion about the menopause. And I mean, when you have sex with a 94-year-old woman, one of the main selling points is that you can come inside.
Is that why you wanted to be with me, Clark?
I mean, Beverly, let's
so
be honest.
So you can nut at me?
No, but that's how it started. When I met you on the bus that day, I wanted to just spray all over you.
It's kind of hot.
It was hot, and a lot of it had to do with the guy who was showing off his penis on the bus to us. Sure.
What?
I wanted to show off my penis to you, and, put it inside you, and,
Yeah.
And we didn't get to do that for a few dates, and that was okay, but by that point, I fell in love with you, and I thought you knew that I wanted to be serious with you.
Well, put a ring on it, maybe we'll keep it.
Is this the right time and place to do it?
No, I want a spectacular proposal.
Oh, okay, I was going to get down on my knee right now.
It would be sort of beautiful.
No, Clark, I'll help you, dude.
We'll do something real nice.
Yeah, DG's a hopeless romantic. Of course I'll help you.
Can I feel the baby?
Well, it's nothing at this point.
Beverly, don't say that. It's so much more than a sack of cells.
Oh, it's a little bigger than a stack. Dr. Xavier told me it was about the size of my thumb.
Oh, little Thumbelina.
I like that name. Thumbelina if it's a girl, Thumbelino if it's a boy.
I love that idea, Beverly.
Put your hand on it right now.
Hi, little Thumbelina.
You might not exist if your daddy doesn't propose.
Oh, I'm going to propose, Beverly. We just have to figure out how to do it up real nice.
All right, joints out.
All right, are you guys ready to, where should we go next? We got DG, we got Sister Marble, we need to, you know what we need to do?
Get Tristan?
We need to get Tristan.
All right, let's head over.
Hello and welcome to MOATAIF. A little bit of technical difficulties on our end before we could get into what was shaping out to be disaster number 2. That's right, folks. A handful of episodes ago, months at this point, we discussed the USS Thresher disaster, our aquatic disaster of a submarine. And today I'll be taking us through our second disaster, which is the Tenerife Airport Disaster.
Oh, fuck.
Which is definitely a dark one. What can I say? These disasters were always going to, it was always meant to be a sort of exploration of the morbid. And
Right.
that's certainly what we're going to do today. So just like last time, I've created a presentation. If you're following along on Spotify, I will, give you a chance to transfer to our YouTube channel, link in the description. But if you're just going to continue listening, I'll continue. It'll be just as entertaining without the presentation. But without further ado, the Tenerife Airport Disaster. We begin with a shot of Northridge, Ohio, where we will find our narrator playing virtual racing, virtual Formula One racing.
Is this Andy?
Oh, geez, I didn't hear you come in. I'm so sorry. I got carried away with my virtual race. Allow me to take a brief moment to introduce myself. I'm Andy Hurdle.
Oh, what the fuck?
Definitely a random narrator.
Didn't know he lived in Northridge, but good for him.
You know what? I don't even think he does, but it just seemed right. I think he lives in like Fairborn. Yeah, something like that. Yes, Andy Hurdle is going to take it away here. Oh, this is my virtual racing setup. Yeah, I invest a lot of time into the old rig here. It's fun. And this is true. He's been doing this shit for years now. Like 2 years, this was a COVID thing, and he's been keeping up with it. And my God, he does the weekly updates.
Oh, well, I'm glad for the young man.
Yeah, right. I mean, as long as he's enjoying it.
Probably the most random narrator we've had.
For sure. Right up there with Skeeter from Doug, which I think takes the cake.
I think this is more random.
You think this is more random than Skeeter from Doug, who literally until you played that presentation and Skeeter from Doug popped up as the narrator, I hadn't thought of Skeeter for years. I mean, literally that was like the most random. That was, I still think, the most random one. But Andy Hurdle is definitely up there.
Like, why would he be doing this?
Well, he let him give a chance to explain himself.
Okay.
He kind of gives he gives himself a chance to explain himself. So he continues on here. Basically, you get the wheel, you get the pedals, and you just start racing. I wasn't the best at first, but I've slowly gotten better. Now we have a screenshot of Andy Hurdle's Facebook post. Results of tonight's Brazilian Grand Prix presented by Rampage Coffee Company at the virtual Interlagos circuit. Race placed 7th out of 20. Tough event with no attrition and all 20 cars finishing. Fairly uneventful race for me to start off this 10-race Formula One season. My season summary, 9 top 10 starts and 8 top 10 finishes, with each race having 20 cars, 10 human and 10 artificial intelligence. Best finish of 3rd in Italy for my lone podium, and 2 additional top 5 finishes in Netherlands and Australia. Now we begin prepping for our virtual Indy 500 next month.
This is happening soon?
I guess so. But it's not like all I do is race. As you know, I work 2 jobs. I'm a part-time clerk at the Clark County Public Library, and I was also recently promoted to a contract specialist position at the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I honestly think it's that experience at the Air Force Base that made Zach think I'd be a good fit for today's disaster presentation.
Yeah, I get it.
But there was more than that, because honestly, and I think it might be one of our next things here.
As long as he doesn't divert it to talk to us about like Tulsi Gabbard or some shit. AOC.
Now we are here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and he says, working on base, as we call it, has given me a lot of cool experiences. I started out working part-time at the tennis court, of all places, and ended up managing it.
Oh my God.
Another screenshot of his Facebook. 6 rackets restrung in 2 hours, 20 minutes. 1 already picked up before I could take a pic. Pretty sure that's a new personal best.
Nice.
Right. He's so lame. He's so fucking lame. Andy, if you're watching, you deserve this criticism. But to be honest with you, the tennis court didn't challenge me enough, and that's why I applied for the new position. But gee whiz, even that was a nightmare process.
Oh my God.
Another screenshot. This is mostly directed towards my right pat people, but anyone feel free to jump in if you have advice or ideas. If you were verbally offered a new position literally 4 months ago and then did everything they asked paperwork-wise, but now can't get any info about a formal offer or start date, what would you do? All my POCs in that office, one of whom just left, have said they have little to no control since once they send their selections to personnel, HR, and they haven't been able to get any info on my selection package. I'm not sure, 1, whom to continue pinging for updates, 2, how often to do so without being annoying, and 3, if I should just accept that I've been lost in the personnel black hole and be happy I still have a good job. P.S. I've only told like 10 people about this in the 4 months since the verbal offer, so now I guess the monkey's out of the bottle, as they say.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. God damn. First of all, Andy, you would get a hold of HR.
Yeah, I mean...
That's who would handle this.
Right. Especially since the people that he asked have said they have little to no control once they send their selections to personnel. So that's who you call then, if they've already done that. I mean, that's like, dumbass. You answered your own question. Now, it would be annoying to wait 4 months after this position. Like, if you were literally, if I was told, okay, yeah, you're going to start this new position and 4 months have gone by, yeah, I'd be anxious too. I can't say I wouldn't.
I mean, especially if it was a pay raise.
Right, which I would fucking hope so, if he's being this butthurt about it. After literal weeks and countless emails ranging from passive-aggressive to aggressive-aggressive, I got the job. My wife Laura and I celebrated by going to the Olive Garden in Springfield.
Did they really?
I think so. Another screenshot. Our elderly neighbor stopped me when I was out mowing tonight and commented that he always sees me either working in the yard or heading to one of my several jobs, and how I must be a workaholic. And then he said, I look at you and I see the guy they described in chapter 6 of my abnormal psychology class in college. And I replied,
this did not.
I could probably fill out a few more chapters of an abnormal psych class. Then I laughed, and he laughed, and I went inside, and I cried to myself a little, and it was a grand old time.
Oh my God.
That just makes you want to die right there. And yet somehow 23 people either laughed, liked, or heart reacted it.
No. That's... God.
He's the worst kind of person. You just know. Enough about me, though. Let's start transitioning to this aviation disaster. One thing you should know about me, though...
Oh my God.
I'm a fan of aviation. Big old fan of it. Another screenshot. Not to in any way minimize the human loss of life, but I've spent way too much time searching through the aviation geek Twitter community trying to figure out if the world's only AN-225 Mariah transport plane has been destroyed or if it's still intact due to the war in Ukraine. Even people with access to updated satellite imagery can't find an answer, other than the airfield where it was undergoing maintenance was taken by Russia and then recaptured by Ukraine with a large amount of shelling on both sides. This beautiful 6-engined beast is a symbol of national pride for Ukraine, can carry almost twice the capacity of our largest cargo plane, and most recently played a huge role in transporting global medical supplies during peak COVID. Prayer emoji.
This guy's fucking lame.
I know.
He is so fucking lame.
When he posted that, apparently 14 hours after I took the screenshot, that's when I knew he was going to be the host, just so I could do this right here, just so I could bring up that post.
How long ago did you screenshot it?
Just about a week. It's not that long, not that much. It was probably right after we got done with recording the last episode.
My fucking God.
The AN-225 Mariah transport plane was designed and built in 1985 and built in 1988 after years of negotiations and schematic revisals. It was the largest plane in the world. It was first used to ship Ukrainian military supplies and cargo. It had the longest wingspan of any aircraft in operational service. It had an unprecedented 6 engines, and it was the only one built. They never built another one with the same schematics.
Pretty huge plane, gotta be real.
Oh, it's big. It looks huge as fuck. I mean, the people in these pictures beside it are literally tiny.
That would be such a bitch to fly in Grand Theft Auto.
I know. It would take forever to fucking taxi and fire up. By the time, like our luck, by the time we got to the end of the fucking runway,
Yeah, they'd just start shooting. We'd
Right.
be blown up.
Right. Nicknamed Dream and Inspiration, Mariah gained cult-like stardom amongst us aviation files. People would download her flight schedule and travel to see her. I never did get the chance to see her in person, and unfortunately, I never will.
That's very autistic.
I know. Traveling to an airport just to see a big cargo plane land.
So it was destroyed?
Yeah, the Ukrainian government confirmed that she had been destroyed by Russian forces in the Battle of Antonov Airport during the 22 Russian invasion of Ukraine.
That's tragic.
Yeah, she was lost. The Ukrainian government was actually like announced this as like because apparently this was a plane that people loved and it really was a source of pride for Ukraine. Obviously, I had never fucking heard of it, but rest in peace to her and more power to the folks in Ukraine, I guess.
So did this have anything to do with the
No.
disaster? Oh, okay. Thanks, Andy.
Ukrainians and people like me all fell to their knees and sobbed over the loss of this absolute beauty. A lot of us were confused. Why didn't they move Mariah? Apparently one of her 6 engines was busted and they didn't want to risk a loss. And this is a screenshot of a comment here loading. Considering how much it carried with 6, it seems likely it could have flown empty with 5. Such a shame. I'm sure they're regretting the decision to not fly it out.
The fuck does he know?
Right.
Unless he's like one of these like flight sim nerds as well. I mean, I think the F1 community, like the driving sim community, specifically F1 sim community, has a lot of similarities with the severely autistic aviation, virtual aviation community, where they'll like set up these like huge plane configurations in their house and like, oh, I have every switch in this plane. It's the exact thing, and
Yeah, I believe it. And I think somebody did ask him though if he was into any flight simulators on that one post that I showed a screenshot of, and I think he said that he hadn't really gotten into it.
Oh, he will.
He will, I'm sure, especially once he gets tired of.
Maybe if he makes him enough money from one job to quit his other several, then
right.
He'd probably get into it.
Though the world mourns Mariah, the world of aviation is used to losses. Let's finally dive into today's disaster. Thank you, Andy, because
Thanks, Andy.
That was truly a long time to give us all that background information.
It's something he would do, though.
Oh, it's something he would totally do.
Just make the presentation his own.
I'm just glad that now he's finally going to give a presentation on the Tenerife disaster. Bernie Sanders, the independent senator from Vermont, was born into a working class... Okay, Andy, hang on. Hang on. Andy, this isn't what we talked about. Is this really what you prepared? Yeah, this is all I had prepared. Why? What do you mean why? Because, like, Andy, when I reached out to you, we talked about this. Like, I was like, you're gonna give a presentation on the Tenerife disaster. Like, that's why you brought up all your other stuff, like all the other experience that you had. So, that's kind of is that what you're gonna... Could you give a presentation on that? Oh, yeah, I totally get that. No. I know about Tenerife. I can give a presentation on Tenerife. I'm sorry. All right, Andy. I'll give you another chance. We have history, and I really do think you would be a good narrator for this presentation. So take it away, Andy. Hillary Clinton rigged the 2016 Democratic primary against Bernie Sanders. Okay. All right, Andy. We're going to have to give Andy the boot here. Andy, again, comes up with the wrong... Just like he did at the Clark County Progressive Democrats, he has come up with just the complete wrong idea of what we were looking for. So, I'll do the rest of the presentation without Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you for your contributions to the presentation. I love how this was all just a veiled way to make fun of Andy Hurdle before I don't know why. Like, I just wanted to make fun of Andy before we got into it.
He deserves being brought up.
He deserved it, especially since he really brought it on himself by posting about an airplane the same week I was going to talk about airplanes.
Right. He should have known.
He should have. In 1977, right? So in March 27th, actually, I think, honest to God, I think I just realized that that's the day this episode is airing.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, this episode's airing March 27th,
What the
2022. That was not planned. It seems like it's planned. It seems like it was planned, but that was not planned, folks. Today, as you're listening to this, is the 45th anniversary of the deadliest accident in aviation history.
Good Lord.
I had no idea as I've made this presentation today that we were actually that close to it. March 27th, 1977 at what used to be known as the Los Rodeos Airport, which is now referred to as Tenerife North Airport. Tenerife is an island, one of multiple islands known as the Canary Islands. Tenerife is one of the Canary Islands, which are off the coast of Spain, Spanish territory. And yes, this was, so far at least, the deadliest accident in aviation history. And, you would think that might go to, 9/11, because, thousands of people died that day, but I think that's because it involves, terrorism, and this was literally just an accident.
Just an aviation accident.
Right. So earlier on the same day, earlier on March 27th, 1977, there was a terrorist event at the Gran Canaria Airport, which is another Canary Islands airport. And many of the flights were being rerouted to Tenerife, which included 2 passenger flights, KLM Flight 4805, which was known as Rhine, and Pan Am Flight 1736, which was known as Clipper Victor.
That's the plane name?
Yeah, both of those flights, Clipper Victor and Rhine, are the plane names, were rerouted from Gran Canaria Airport to Tenerife that day because of the terrorism. Neither plane was scheduled to stop there that day. Tenerife, for background, was a regional airport. It didn't have all the taxi and runway space. They only had 1 runway and 1 taxiway. It could not accommodate all of this traffic. But, what were they going to do? There was, they had to take it, but it was just, they were way overbooked there. So the diverted planes took up so much space that they were literally parking on the taxiways, so making it unavailable to taxi, get over to the runway. So all of these, they've basically completely blocked one entire aisleway and only are working with one, which was already not enough. So now, instead of being able to taxi on the taxiway and then get to the runway, departing aircrafts would now need to taxi down the runway and then make a 180-degree turn at the end of the runway, which is known as back taxiing, which would then line them up to then go back down the runway, but to take off. So they don't like to do this, of course, because that's the whole point of the taxiway is to drive down to the end of the runway to get in the position to take off. So this is definitely not ideal, but there's no other way to do it.
Yeah, I get it.
So when Gran Canaria reopened, once the bomb threat had been contained, the Clipper Victor flight, which you can see in the photo, this is actually both of the planes involved in the disaster in this photo. The one that you can see all of the plane is Clipper Victor, and the one that's closest to us is the Rhine plane. Clipper Victor was the first flight ready to leave, but Rhine was in the process of refueling, and their refueling truck was blocking the rest of the way, and because there was already a lack of clearance on both of the runways, without the fact of there being somebody refueling, it just wasn't, they weren't able to leave. Both planes were missing passengers that had, disembarked during all this time. So it turned out, after everything was done, that Rhine was going to be the first plane to be able to leave, even though Clipper Victor was supposed to take off first. And the decision to refuel right then and there was definitely questioned. They don't know why Rhine was doing that. They were supposed to just go over a short flight over to this other Gran Canaria airport where they could then refuel. They had enough fuel to get there, but he just wanted to save time, according to the notes. And so they went ahead and refueled. Now, whatever, Ryan was the first plane to be able to leave. So at this point, the confusion starts to set in. We've got a little diagram here to help follow along. At this point, the tower instructs Ryan to taxi the entire length of the runway and then make a 180-degree turn to get into takeoff position. So just like we described earlier, the back taxiing, they were like, you're taking off. The Ryan flight, which is noted by KLM, which is the airline, the light blue line, which is cut off, of course, to show the actual event. But KLM is the Ryan flight is going to go all the way down and get ready to take off, go all the way down to the end of the runway and turn around, get into takeoff position. As soon as they tell them that, they radio to the Clipper Victor, and they're like, hey, follow Ryan down the runway, but take the third exit on your left. The third runway exit right there, that's where they're going to park, and that's where they're going to wait. And then presumably, if everything had gone according to plan, then I assume Clipper Victor would have backed out, gone down to the end of the runway, and taken off. They instructed the Pan Am flight Clipper Victor to follow them down the runway and then turn into route to lane 3. Now, Clipper Victor was initially unclear which lane, 1, 2, or 3, they were supposed to go to, and the tower crew came back, emphatically responded, the third one, sir, 1, 2, 3, third one, to try to make sure that they definitely knew which they were going to. Now, the crew of Clipper Victor successfully identified the first 2 taxiway lanes, but the discussion on the cockpit recorder indicated that they couldn't find the third taxiway, which was the one they had been instructed to use. Now, the taxiways at this airport at the time were not marked, and visibility was deteriorating already because a storm was moving in. So even if they were marked, they probably wouldn't have been able to see them anyway, because the visibility was getting that bad. So as Clipper Victor struggles to find the third lane where they're supposed to be parking, Ryan reaches the end of the runway, makes the 180-degree turn, gets into takeoff position. The captain, who you can see in the photo, that is the captain of this flight. He was famous. His name's down here. Captain Veldhuizen van Zanten. Veldhuizen van Zanten. He was like their star pilot, and so much so that he was actually used in the advertisement there. So as Clipper Victor is struggling to find this lane, he gets down to the end, and he, as soon as he gets there, he throttles and starts moving the aircraft forward. His first officer, Mewers, advises him that, hey, we don't have clearance to take off yet, to which Captain Van Veldhuizen van Zanten responds, no, I know that. Go ahead and ask. As he's already starting to roll down the runway, he's like, no, yeah, I know we don't have take clearance, but go ahead and ask him for it. So Mewers radios the tower and advises them that they are, quote, ready for takeoff and, quote, waiting for our ATC clearance. The tower radios back instructions on how to, quote, take off. It did not give an explicit instruction or clearance to take off, but they did use the word, quote, take off. Now, when Mears reads the flight clearance back to the controller for clarity and completes the read with a statement, quote, we are now at takeoff. So he restates. He's like, okay, so we're going to, fly. We're going to take off in 3 minutes, whatever the instructions are. And we're going to wait until the clearance, and then we're now at takeoff. Now, the radio controller couldn't see the runway because it was, like I said, the storm was coming in. So he responds back with simply okay, which further reinforces Ryan's misunderstanding, thinking that they had clearance to take off, because originally in the instructions they said, whatever it is, take off.
This is not good.
No, it's not. The controller, though, kind of sensed what was going on, and he immediately adds, stand by for takeoff. I will call you, indicating that he had not intended his instructions to be interpreted as takeoff clearance. Of course, they were interpreting that. So he says, hey, whoa, hang on, stand by for takeoff. I'll call you. However, a simultaneous radio call... A simultaneous radio call from Clipper Victor caused mutual interference on the radio frequency, which was audible on Ryan as a 3-second long shrill sound. So instead of hearing any of the messages from either the tower or Clipper, all they could hear is the interference of both of them. So they missed the crucial last part of the tower's transmission saying, hey, you don't have clearance to take off. Now, what did Clipper Victor say? Clipper Victor, at the same time, was saying, we're still taxiing down the runway, the Clipper 1736. Like, we're still on the runway.
So he could hear all that.
Neither message was heard.
I know, but Clipper Victor could hear
Yes.
the other plane asking for clearance and then going like, okay, hold on, actually, I'll call you.
Right, and I don't know if they heard the second part. They probably just heard okay, and then because at the same time as they were like, hang on, we'll call you, they're saying, well, wait, we're still taxiing down the road. And so because they both were talking at the same time, both messages were not actually heard in the Ryan's cockpit. But it does say here, though, that if either message had been heard in the cockpit, it would have given them enough time to...
This is truly just an unfortunate situation.
It really is. It's really unfortunate, especially because they determined that, if they had heard it at the time that those transmissions were sent, they would have been able to prevent all of this.
But it's just like from every perspective, it's understandable.
I know.
There's no one to blame.
I know. It's really tragic. 45 years ago today, folks. Can't believe it. Having heard none of the messages, Ryan's captain continued the takeoff roll. Now, the tower instructed the Clipper Victor, because at this time the tower doesn't realize that Ryan hadn't heard any of that. They don't know what's, they don't know what's going on. They can't see the runway. So they just continue talking to Clipper Victor, and they say, report when runway clear, because as soon as you're clear of the runway, we're going to let Ryan go. So Clipper Victor replied, okay, we'll report when we're clear. Now, upon hearing this, the Ryan flight engineer, the third person in the cockpit, spoke up and expressed his concern about them not being clear because he asked, is he not clear, that Pan American? And the captain emphatically replied, oh yeah, and continued with the takeoff. Didn't even consider that the flight engineer might, know something more than he did. Just completely disregarded him, and he's like, yes, emphatically, they are off the runway. And continued with the takeoff. Here are the transcripts of the black box recordings that happened after
These are scary.
I know. So at 17:06, the captain of the Pan Am flight, which is the Clipper Victor flight, says, let's get the hell out of here. After all that, the first officer says, yeah, he's anxious, isn't he? The flight engineer says, yeah, after he held us up for an hour and a half, that bastard, now he's in a rush. Because remember, at the beginning, this, Clipper Victor was supposed to take off first, but Ryan was getting refilled, and then based on the positions of all the planes, Ryan had to be the one to take off first.
So they're talking about Ryan?
Yeah. After Ryan held us up for an hour and a half, that bastard, now he's in a rush. Now we flip over, because these are simultaneous transmissions. At the same time, 17:06, of course this is in German, but it's translated. This is where the flight engineer of Ryan says, is he not clear then? To which the captain replies, what do you say? Somebody in the captain says yes. Somebody in the cockpit says yes. The engineer repeats again, is he not clear, the Pan American? To which the captain replies, Jao, which means oh yes, but I think he either said it emphatically, like oh yes, yeah, they're clear, or my interpretation was possibly that jowl must mean like an emphatic yes, you know what I mean?
Like of course.
Right, yeah. At 17:06 and 40 seconds, the Pan Am captain, Clipper Victor, sees Ryan's landing lights about 700 meters away. The captain says, there he is, look at him. God damn, that son of a bitch is coming. The first officer says, get off, get off, get off. I don't know what V1 says. They start rotating their thing. The other plane starts to rotate. The captain of Ryan says, oh shit. And then at 17:06:49, both planes record sound of collision.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I've played enough Grand Theft Auto to think that there's probably going to be a huge explosion.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's
this is fucked.
I know. Truly tragic. I think
a true disaster.
A true disaster. And I think one of the things that makes these disasters so especially, like, I think the ones that are especially are the ones that have these recordings where you can hear like what they're saying as they're, and you're like, that's scary to think of, seeing a plane coming at you at takeoff speed and being like, holy shit. Like, and that's literally what they say. They're like, he's coming. Like, yeah, that's scary. So here is the rest of that diagram from earlier.
The stars were
The star is where they collided. So as you can see,
So they missed the third one.
yeah, they didn't find it. It's not labeled for whatever reason, and I guess, they just missed it. They saw 1 and 2, but they drove right past number 3, and right before the 4th taxiway there, that's where, at full speed, that is where Ryan completely collided with the Pan Am flight. Here is it's a short little crash visualization showing it here. They tried to turn.
Oh, so it's like head on.
Yeah.
No.
They tried to turn to get off into the grass, but there was just no amount of time. Just based on how fast the other plane was going, that there was really nothing they could do. They were essentially sitting ducks. So according to the cockpit,
Oh fuck.
yeah, there's the photo of the remains. Yeah, not a lot left to be seen of either plane. According to the cockpit voice recorder, like we heard, Clipper Victor's captain says there he is when he spots the landing lights of the other plane. The first officer yells to get off, and it says Captain Grubbs applied full power to the throttles and made a sharp left turn towards the grass in an attempt to avoid the impending collision, like we saw in the demonstration. But by the time the Rhines pilots saw Clipper Victor, they were already traveling too fast to stop, already approaching 160 miles per hour. Now, in desperation, the pilots prematurely rotated the aircraft and attempted to clear Clipper Victor by taking off. They just pulled back on the things and really tried to clear it. And its nose landing gear cleared the Pan Am, but the left side engines, lower fuselage, and main landing gear struck the upper right side of the Clipper Victor fuselage, ripping apart the center of the jet almost directly above the wing. Just instantly ripped apart. The right side engines crashed through Clipper Victor's upper deck immediately behind the cockpit.
So obviously people dead just right there.
Yeah, just instantly deceased. Hundreds of people instantly deceased. Now the Rhine remained briefly airborne, but the impact, because they took off, but it sheared off the outer left engine and damaged both of the wings. So the plane immediately stalled, rolled very sharply, and then slammed into the ground about 500 feet past the other plane. Now the full load of fuel that they had caused the earlier delay with immediately burst into a fireball that could not be subdued for several hours. That's the Grand Theft Auto explosion you were predicting.
Oh.
True tragedy right there.
Was anybody able to get out?
Well, I think that's the next slide here. Both airplanes were completely destroyed in the collision. All 248 passengers aboard the Rhine flight died, as did 335 passengers and crew aboard Clipper Victor. However, 61 passengers and crew aboard the Clipper Victor survived, including the captain, the first officer, and the flight engineer, who we, heard on the recording. So it seems like because they turned to the left,
yeah, they shielded themselves.
Yeah, basically anybody up in the front half of the plane, I mean, is lucky to be alive for sure. One of the 61 survivors of that flight said that sitting in the nose of the plane probably saved his life. He says, quote, "We all settled back, and the next thing, an explosion took place, and the whole left side of the plane was just torn wide open."
Oh my God.
Now, those survivors waited for rescue, but firefighters were initially unaware that 2 aircraft were involved because the wreckage was so severe. So they waited for hours, and then eventually, when the fires died down, they crawled out onto the left wing and then jumped down to the ground to be saved. Truly harrowing experience. There were 2 notable victims, according to Wikipedia. Eve Meyer, who was a pinup model and actress, and A.P. Hammond, who was the city manager of San Jose, California.
Random.
Those 2 people were on the flight, and they were both on the Pan Am flight. So unfortunately, they were not one of the 61 survivors of that flight.
Fuck.
Now, as a consequence of the accident, sweeping changes were made to international airline regulations and to aircraft in general. To begin, aircraft instruction must not be acknowledged solely with a colloquial phrase such as okay or roger, but they must read back the key parts of the instruction to show mutual understanding. That makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like what we did at Pretzel Maker when people ordered things.
Right. Just, okay, you want 2 large pretzel bites?
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
So, I mean, that totally makes sense. Definitely would have cleared up some confusion.
Sucks that this had to happen for them to think about that.
I know. The word takeoff is now only spoken when the actual takeoff clearance is given or when canceling the same clearance. For example, you are cleared for takeoff or you cancel takeoff clearance. Until that point, aircrew and controllers should use the word departure in its place. Example, ready for departure. Of course, that makes perfect sense because hearing takeoff in the instructions was confusing to the German crew. So that is a great, that's a great save. Another change was that cockpit procedures were changed. They got rid of, they kind of like played down the hierarchical relations because this course of action was expanded into what's called the crew resource management, which states that all pilots, no matter how experienced they are allowed to contradict each other, which is, I don't exactly know how that would have helped. I get it because, like I said, the flight engineer spoke up and the captain ignored him, but I don't think any sort of training would have changed that. He still thought that the runway was clear regardless of what that guy said.
Yeah, if anything, it's more for the pilots to just say, hey, you need to trust your crew more.
Right.
You're not the only one in charge of this plane.
Right. You need to, and maybe if he had more, if the flight engineer had better, had better training, he could have stepped up and said something more effective. Who knows? Who knows? You can't blame the victims, though.
You can't really.
In 1978, the next year, a second airport was opened on the island of Tenerife, which was called Tenerife South, which services a majority of the international flights. And Los Rodeos, where this happened, was renamed Tenerife North and was only used for inter-island flights from 1978 until 2002. And then they, in 2002, started doing international traffic again. So for the longest time after that, it is an even smaller airport. Yeah, they're like, we're not even going to try that again.
Yep.
And here we have the memorial that was placed on Tenerife Island to, memorialize the victims. And then over here on the right is the Dutch National Memorial and final resting place for all of the victims of the Rhine flight, which is located at Westgaard Cemetery in Amsterdam, because it was obviously a Dutch flight.
Right.
So I think that might be it. Yeah. So that's the Tenerife Airport disaster.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a true tragedy. Can't be overstated how much of a tragedy that is.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, because especially I don't really like to fly, but could you imagine?
No.
At that point, it's hard to imagine. But just you're on the ground. That's where you're supposed to be the safest. And before either plane left the ground, they fucking explode. A plane crashed into you on the ground? Well, I guess it's harder to crash in the sky.
It's harder to crash in the sky, but I guess something could happen. Takeoff is pretty scary, though.
It is scary. And I just can't even imagine. The people on the Rhine flight, if they survived the initial, because the Rhine flight did take off. It cleared them. They took on some damage. But I wonder if the people in that flight were alive until it burst into flame, hit the ground again.
Just what the fuck?
Right, literally.
Probably just enough time to say what the fuck.
Right. And we've got cockpit recordings. I think we really need some cabin recordings. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear it.
Tragic.
It would be so tragic. But that's the morbid fascination of this. I want to know if the people in the Rhine flight had time to say what the fuck.
Probably just heard distant screaming.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then just instant.
Good lord.
Instant explosion and death.
Good lord.
True tragedy, folks.
I like the disasters though.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad.
I've never heard of this one.
Yeah, I hadn't either. But doing research on disasters has helped me find some really cool stuff. Cool. Cool is pretty cool.
Know,
it's cool. You know, in a morbid way, it's cool. It is cool. But, you know, what can you say? Disasters happen all the time. I guess, you know, pour one out here on the 45th anniversary of the Tenerife Airport Disaster. MOATAIF honors those victims, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Just like last time, didn't mean in any way to discredit or make fun of the victims of this true tragedy. But it honestly, I mean, what better way to honor the victims than to remember that it happened? Because until today, I didn't even know that they perished.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not until today, but until I read about it, I didn't even know they had died. And now here I am pouring one out to them. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of MOATAIF. We're ending it on a morbid note, but, you know, the next time you get on a flight, try not to think about the Tenerife Airport disaster, because likely...
Well, now I'm gonna...
Well, likely you're not going to, you know, get into an accident on the ground. You know, you might, like, crash when you land, of course, but you're probably going to take off because now this, you know, they've got all the language, they've got better sonar, better equipment, so you're not going to die that way. Just, you gotta make sure that the plane is safe. That's a whole different thing. Until next time, folks, stay moat.
A man finding a whole dog. Well, it seems to me that a whole dog would have eaten the chicken noodle soup. Is that possible that the dog got into it and ate the chicken noodle soup? I would think that would probably be a problem. I would think that you would want to keep the dog out of the chicken noodle soup.